where in actuality they let them walk up on the Capitol grounds so they can later go to the fucking media and say to the US public, we need gun control because of this. We need to prevent any type of people storming the Capitol ever again. And it could have been prevented. There would have been no storming of the Capitol, except for the US government wanted that. They saw an opportunity and they took it. They could care less about keeping the public safe. They could care less about any of that shit. All they care about is control and making sure we don't have the ability to stand up to the US government anymore. And it's always been like that.
Yeah, it reminds me of V for Vendetta. You watch that?
Yeah.
Like how it's discovered that the bad guy, like the governor, like poisoned his own people, so they would be so afraid that they would get from control.
It's all about control. The government and the media want constantly push the same narrative over and over again to brainwash the younger generation, which includes us, right, into believing that Republicans, Trump supporters, anyone who isn't pro-Biden, pro-gun control, anyone who isn't supportive of all of these fucking tyrannical policies is the enemy. Where the government is the true enemy. And they want to keep saying they want to blow the statistics out of the way. You want to know what's fucking stupid? Is our gun rate casualties, like, you know, the statistic for how many people die for guns per year? Suicide by gun is included in that statistic.
I mean, I think
you want to know how much? You want to know how much suicide makes up the statistic that they always keep pushing? 37% of all deaths with a gun in the United States is suicide. 37%. But they also want to group that statistic of suicide by gun also with school shootings and mass shootings. The most amount of people who have been killed in a mass shooting in the last 5 years has been no more than 12 people. Okay? That's about 5 people. That's still too many people, right? But you wanna know what the most amount of people who have been killed in a mass shooting were? It was in 1894. It was 297 Native Americans at a reservation, and the shootout began after more than half of the men at the reservation had peacefully and voluntarily given up their guns. The U.S. government and the U.S. Marshal's Office went to the reservation with the plans of taking the guns from the Native Americans, and was saying to the Native Americans that it's for their own safety. And after confiscating more than half the guns from them, they opened fire on the Native population, killing 297 people, killing them all. And 200 out of the 297 were women and children. But you don't hear anyone talking about that, because the government steadily has been trying to convince its population that what we do to each other is far more dangerous than what the US government would do to us if they had all the guns. And it's bullshit, because we all know that the government would, in a split second, betray its population for its own gain, because it has done it repeatedly through history. Not just the US government, any government has misused and abused its citizens for its own personal gain.
Short, I'm popping off in this game, man. Sorry, I've killed two solos and then a duo of a Pathfinder with Bolt, or of a Bloodhound with Bolt, mixed with a Bangalore.
Dude, I'm just saying, I'm mad about the Capitals protest just because they got rid of the PogChamp emote on Twitch.
Yeah.
Dude, oh my god.
Yeah.
Alright, so, yeah, I'm a Republican, right? And most of the people at the Capitol grounds were Republicans, right? That's true. Okay. I have such serious problems with the Capitol riots. I felt such disgust for the people at the Capitol riots. I felt such hatred and strong emotions towards all of the people who had stormed the Capitol grounds. Because I have visited the Capitol building in real life. I had been in the rotunda. I have seen it with my very own eyes. I have seen what a beautiful and majestic building and architecture it is. And to see these inbred, disgusting, frat boy motherfuckers who give no shit except for their own fucking clout on the internet, who all they want to do is take a picture with Pelosi's goddamn podium, who all they want to fucking do is take pictures at the Capitol and all this fucking bullshit for a flex and for clout. It is disgusting that they would do such a mockery to such a beautiful building that really, literally demonstrates our country's independence and its resilience, because the Capitol building was reconstructed after the siege of 1818, after the British had burned down the Capitol, after they had burned down Washington D.C. The government rebuilt the Capitol building to make it majestic and to make it stand the longevity of history, the longevity of time, the longevity of the future, and for it to be a standing monument of this is our country. It has a picture of George Washington depicting him as almost a deity, right? As almost a godlike figure at the top of the building. And for these hicks to invade the Capitol and make such a mockery, it was disgusting, and I hated it. I hated every second of watching it. And people thought that I would be supportive of the Capitol riots because I don't like Biden, right? I don't like Biden, but also I don't like any of the motherfuckers that took a step on those Capitol grounds, because it's disgusting, it's a mockery, and it's treacherous. It is un-American at its finest definition. No American, no true American would step onto that Capitol and do what they did.
I agree. I have no objections here. I think it's dumb. I'm liking this.
I'm just agreeing.
This is content while I'm running around like shooting zombies in the face.
I know, I'm barely focusing on zombies. Just drinking beer and fucking ranting about political.
Yeah, we're starting a podcast.
We'll get it.
Oh, I've been recording.
Good.
It's me and Short just prod Tuna on so he'll talk more.
We just keep buying his beer money. We pay for his beer money.
This is going to my beer money.
We use the funds of the podcast to get Tuna more beer.
Okay, I've got a question. So you know Montero, the new, what's his name? Lil Nas X?
Yeah.
You know that music video? What are your opinions on that?
Oh, I think it's funny as fuck.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, I see what he's trying to do, right? And there's okay, there's always been the conspiracy theory that anyone who makes it famous sells their soul to the devil, right? It's a conspiracy, you know, the fucking what was it, the 27 Club or whatever the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
There's always that theory, there's always that conspiracy theory. And it's plausible, right? It's plausible that there is some sort of deity or some shit that is like, hey, let's do it, like, you know? But in actuality, it's not the devil, right? If they're selling their soul to anyone, it's the secret societies that are behind the government, right? They're selling their soul to the Freemasons, and they're joining the Freemason Society, right? And then in return to joining the Freemason Society, they get to be popular and famous, and they get the clout that they want, but in return, they have to push the Freemason agenda. That's what I think, right? If there is a selling the soul type of shit, then it's that. It's not no type of devil shit, right? And that takes that with a grain of salt, right? Because that could completely be bullshit, right? Anyone who makes it famous could be making it famous because of hard work and determination, right? But if there is that, chance of that they sell their soul to someone who is in power, a secret society like the Freemasons, like the Illuminati, well then we have to take it with a grain of salt.
Illuminati be making people popular out here. Dude, they know where to get that clout from.
Okay.
They got their bot Instagram accounts ready to follow.
The Saturday Night Live interview of Jim Carrey, right? And he talks about the Illuminati in detail, and it's not like a joke or anything. He's talking all serious and shit, right? He means every single word he says. After he gave that interview about the Illuminati on Saturday Night Live, and he said to James Franco, he was like, "You're in the Illuminati, I'm in the Illuminati, anyone who is in television is in the Illuminati," right? And the entire crowd laughs at him, right? Like it's a joke.
Everyone laughs. He's like, "I'm not joking."
But no, he has gone on the record and said that he was being serious during that interview, and every single word he said, he meant it. What happened after he gave that Saturday Night Live interview was his wife was found shot to death.
Oh.
And the coroner's report had it as an accidental death.
Okay, but who
How do you
fired the gun?
get fucking shot?
I'm curious.
That's
interesting. That's a little sus. That's a little sus. Oh my god.
Like, yeah, no, it is a little bit sus.
You would think the Illuminati would be a little bit more careful.
They don't give a fuck. They hold the power. Donovan, this is self-revive kit.
Where?
We're like, Red, you have to... Oh, Donovan, self-revive.
I'm coming. I'm coming.
But also, do you guys know about the Bohemian Grove?
Nope.
Okay, oh wow, yeah.
Where's the cell?
Where's
the cell? There
located, it's on, you just picked it up.
Yeah, I found it. Last second.
Yeah. The Bohemian Grove is located in the Redwood Forest of California, right? And they have the Bohemian Lake. The Bohemian Grove is
Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yeah, basically. But it's
all connected.
Very powerful members of the government go to this secret grove. Alex Jones had actually infiltrated the Bohemian Grove secretly and had shot video recordings. Multiple reporters had breaking into the Bohemian Grove, right? There's military service there who guard it, mercenaries who guard it. There is camera equipment, night vision equipment that monitors the fucking forests. There's electrified barbed wire fences all around the Bohemian Lake, and there are statues of the founding fathers and very, very powerful historic figures like the Rockefellers, the Kennedys, all of that shit, right? There's statuettes of them all surrounding the lake, and they have this big grand ceremony that includes a bonfire on the lake, on the beaches, on like the beach of the lake, where they all dress up in dark red robes with hoods, and it's a secret society for people in the government. It's called the Bohemian Grove. Honestly, I feel like you guys should look it up after any time and just start reading about it, because it is fucked up. People who have been caught trespassing have either disappeared or have never been heard from again. Alex Jones published a video on it with his recordings of the Bohemian Grove, and he was subsequently punished for his findings.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he hasn't he been censored?
Yeah.
Isn't Alex Jones that guy that was like the frogs are going gay?
Turn the fucking frogs gay. Yeah.
Yes, that's
No.
And everyone thought he was fucking lying. Everyone thought he was bullshitting, but they were, because pesticide runoff from these farms had chemicals in it that caused reptiles to change genders mid-life cycle. The government was making tranny fucking frogs, man.
Okay, but does it
They were
change
making
both?
tranny frogs.
Does it change both male and female frogs to the
Yeah,
opposite gender? Then why does it matter? Why does it matter?
Because the pesticides, because the chemicals are coming from pesticides that they're putting on plants, and then these plants are being sent to grocery stores, and we're eating the shit. We're eating the pesticide chemicals that turn frogs female, and vice versa.
Okay, well, if I end up having a vagina in the middle of my life,
You wanna know what's fucked up? They have a policy around the COVID vaccine where any side effects, you don't get no fucking compensation. There's a no compensation clause in the vaccine.
Yeah.
Whereas if you die because of the vaccine, your family just has to deal with it. There's no compensation.
They're too scared to put compensation on it because they're like, oh my god, this vaccine's still so... Yeah, they don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, so why are they pushing it on the public if they still don't know what the side effects are?
I mean, I still think people should get the vaccine. I mean,
no, I don't. I mean, shit. Okay, 2016. If the COVID shit happened in 2016, when I was all for pro-vaccination, right? I had the belief where anyone who didn't get their kids vaccinated in 2016 was a retard. They were stupid as fuck, right? Why wouldn't you get your kids vaccinated against the bubonic plague? Why wouldn't you get your kids vaccinated against tuberculosis and and all these other fucking shit? Right? There's no HIV vaccination. I was about to say HIV, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Why would you not get a vaccine against tuberculosis? Okay.
Well, the thing, like, I understand, like,
such a problem.
Like, here's the thing, though, like, I understand people not getting the COVID vaccine, but for the other vaccines, you definitely should get, since, you know, they've been well documented by this point.
Yeah.
Like, they're not, and you can get compensation for any side effects, so, I mean.
And the reason I do not trust the COVID vaccine is we have been suffering from AIDS since the fucking 80s, okay? We've been suffering from an AIDS epidemic since the 80s. Or at least that's what the government wants us to believe, right? Because of all the AIDS cases and shit, right? And they wanted to blame AIDS on the fucking gays, right? So how come...
What are you doing over here with all these crawlers?
I don't know, I was waiting for what you were doing. But how come after 40 fucking years, we still can't figure out a vaccination for AIDS? But less than a year, we have found a vaccination for something that is man-made.
Well,
for something that is a man-made virus.
I will say, AIDS is something we have never, like, we still, there's nothing like AIDS, but...
yeah, there is nothing like AIDS. It infects the bloodstream.
But COVID we have seen. It's similar to the flus and SARS.
Yeah. The genetic makeup of COVID, the COVID strain, COVID-19 strain in particular, is genetically similar to the influenza.
Yep.
The Spanish,
so I think that's why we were so quick with it. But I do admit, like,
But also, each year, the influenza strain changes drastically genetically, right? There's a new mutation each year. And each year, let's say 100 million United States citizens get vaccinated, still 70,000 of those vaccinations are still gonna get the flu virus.
Better than all of them.
Better than all, yes. But when was it, like, also, the government has proposed, New York has proposed a plan for a vaccine identification card, certificate. So you will have to carry around a passport-like item that proves you were vaccinated. And if you have not been vaccinated, then you must continue to quarantine. That is bullshit. When in our country did the government get the power to decide what we have to put in our bodies to be able to go outside?
I mean, to be fair, I'm like a little bit more left, but I don't fully identify as left. So I mean, I wouldn't mind it entirely. I personally think it's somewhat of a smart idea, but just I also, the only problem I see with that, though, is that because then people will start discriminating against other people. Like, oh, you don't have the COVID vaccine. F you. Get out of my life. I hate you.
You're not allowed into my restaurant.
And there could be a situation. I could see like a certain situation where people are like. Well, I mean, that's like the point is that you're not allowed to go in public places.
You go to Red Robin to eat a fucking burger with your fucking girlfriend, right? You go out for a date, and then your waiter asks to see your vaccine certificate, and then you reply with, "Sorry, I'm not vaccinated. I think that shit's poison," right? Then the waiter replies with, "Get the fuck out of my restaurant."
Yeah, that's within his legal rights. Now, if you were in a government building and you weren't allowed to have a lawyer because you weren't vaccinated, that's a different matter because that's public. But privately, it's legal.
I mean, yeah, because they can already right now they can throw you out for not wearing a mask, right? But
and that is bullshit. That's bullshit because I mean, how are you gonna force someone to wear something in your store? Right? We already do that, right? No shoes, no shirt, no service, right? Okay. So why? So yeah, okay. Masks are alright. So like businesses can decide what their policy is on the mask, right? Okay, you can decide no mask, no service. Okay. But when you start to say you're not vaccinated, I'm not letting you in my store because you're not vaccinated. I don't see a difference between
to be fair, schools already.
If
you think about those, schools already do that though. Like, if you're not vaccinated, you can't go to school.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's what's bullshit. No. When in our country's fundamentals was it allowed for the government to tell us what we have to do with our body and when we have to do it with our body? No. Same shit with abortion, right? I'm a Republican, but I hold the left's views on abortion because
I'm pro-life, dude. I'm pro-choice.
I'm all for the First Amendment and autonomy. If you don't want to have a child, you should not be forced to have a child because a child, first off, is the number one reason why women drop out of college because they cannot have a child and also have the funds for college. It's too much work and too much money for them.
Yeah, I think like
whereas at the same time, you cannot make someone put something in their body if they don't want it. If they feel like they are in threat, if that thing is a threat to them, to their livelihood, then why are you gonna make them have it? That's like saying.
Okay, go on. Sorry.
No.
So my thing with that is like with abortion. You're not threatening anybody else with the choice of abortion.
Yeah, that's the main thing I have the problem with the vaccine is that it endangers me as well. If you don't get the vaccine, it puts me in danger as well.
No, it doesn't. Because if you are vaccinated and I'm not vaccinated,
or I mean, actually, no. What I meant to say is there's people who physically cannot get the vaccine because they are immunocompromised, right? So you're putting those people at danger for not taking your vaccine. I'm about to die again. Oh my god.
No, don't die, Diamond.
That's the only problem I have with it. But it's just, I mean, I understand, like, you know, all that other stuff, like with rights and whatnot, and we should definitely maintain it, because that's what the Founding Fathers intended. At least most of the Founding Fathers intended, I should say. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's very complicated.
I'm not gonna act like really, dude, I got one hit? You shitting me? Like, I'm not gonna act like the Founding Fathers were perfect. No, they allowed slavery. They had the idea that all men are created equal, but somehow in their brains that only black people were 3/5 of the men that white people were. Somehow they came to that idea, which is bullshit, okay? Bullshit.
Yeah.
And second off...
And the fact that they think that separate but equal would work. That also
oh my god!
Okay, I have a controversial type shit, okay? The Jim Crow laws were not inherently unconstitutional. In writing, the Jim Crow laws we're not inherently unconstitutional, right? It was constitutional, right? If blacks and whites, if people of color and white people had gotten equal.
See, that's why it was even able to be passed in the first place, is because that was the intention, was that they would get equal treatment. But
they were not equal. They gave blacks a shittier version of what was for whites. And that's how the Jim Crow laws were unconstitutional. Now, propose if say segregation was still a thing, but there was a black bathroom and there was a white bathroom, right? And not even based on race, right? Let's say that there's a new type of Jim Crow laws, say called the RuPaul laws, right? Okay? And it's based around trannies in our society now, right? Okay? These RuPaul laws would be constitutional if trannies had gotten equal bathrooms to both women and men. So there's a man bathroom in a Walmart, there's a female bathroom in a Walmart, and then there's also a third bathroom, which is a tranny bathroom, which includes having urinals for guys, and then also includes having stalls for women. So it looks like a male bathroom because there's urinals and stalls, right? But for a man bathroom, the stalls are only for taking a poop, right? Or if you have a tiny dick, you're gonna go into the stall because you're embarrassed.
How I see it is we should have 3 bathrooms, right? There's a co-ed bathroom, there's a male bathroom, and then there's a female bathroom, right? And co-ed bathrooms anyone can use. Females, obviously, only people with, you know, the female part, right, can use, and then the male bathrooms with the male parts of the male things. That's how I think it should work, because then if it makes it so that, like, you don't have an issue of, like, you know, like gay people using like a bathroom, than straight men getting uncomfortable because someone's staring at their junk, right? And thinking, tasty, right? And that solves the issue. I mean, you just go to, you go whatever, right?
You go to the, I'm so against combined bathroom because it doesn't make it, like, it doesn't, like, influence, right, like, sexual assault and rape. It doesn't, like, promote it. But it gives the chance of it. Because before, say a year ago, if a guy was about to walk into a female bathroom, someone would speak and say, hey, that's a female bathroom. You can't go in there, you fucking weird shit. Right? I might keep dying, bro. Whereas now, you're just allowed to walk in a female bathroom with a hairy-ass fucking face, with a full set of fucking facial hair, with hairy chest, with fucking pubes sticking out of your fucking waistband, right? You're allowed to walk into a female bathroom, and then no one's gonna say shit. You can just sit inside the stalls and sit there until a female walks in that you find attractive enough to rape. And that's what's fucked up, because there's no checks and balances, there's no one stopping.
Again, that's why I say, that's why we have...
I'm not saying all people will do that, but the people that will do that, there's no one stopping them from doing it.
I know, that's what I was saying. That's why we have the male and female bathroom, and then we have the co-ed bathroom as a third one. That's how I always. That's how I always thought to solve the solution. Of course, it's not practical. It would cost a lot of money to do that. A lot of buildings would have to be redesigned, even though it really would only cost like maybe 5,000.
No.
And there's already family bathrooms. The family bathrooms already exist. All you have to do is extend them.
There's family bathrooms, which I don't see why any building that has a family bathroom couldn't just turn a family bathroom into a fucking tranny bathroom. Like, why is it a family bathroom? Just make it a tranny bathroom. It has a door that locks, and it has oh my god, dude, my curves. It has a fucking door that locks, and it is only used for one person, right? Instead of you fucking taking your child in there to fucking change its diapers, why the fuck don't you just go into a stall, right? Why you gotta be such a fucking obnoxious asshole? Why are you going in the family bathroom?
Yeah, no, because stalls there's like the giant stalls in both male and female bathrooms that have it.
All stores have the stalls where you can change a baby's diaper. So I don't see why any business that has a family restroom
And they could also make it just like
make that into a training.
They could also like just change the stall there into like the one stall that they have that works as has the baby changing station. They could honestly just change that into a family bathroom as well. So like you walk into the bathroom and then there's like they put a door and solid walls there, right? Onto that one stall. I mean, like, at my store, all of our stalls are completely closed off. There's no top, there's no bottom, there's a door with a lock on it. For 3 stalls, and then we have 2 urinals in the male's bathroom. Alright? All the stalls are privacy, completely privacy. You know, it's enclosed. I know, it's a completely private bathroom, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, dude, I'm all for gay people and shit, right? Like, love who you love.
Why do you have to say it like that?
I love the gays.
Yeah, I love them gay people. Just leave me the fuck alone. But like, actually, like, dude, I don't give a fuck if you're gay or not. I don't care who you love or what your sexual preference is, right? If you're gay, by all means, be gay, dude. I don't care, right? Do what makes you happy. Do what feels right to you. But when you get to the point where you start infringing on my life, and you start telling me how to live my life based on what makes you happy, that's where you've gone too far. Because I'm not gonna do what pleases you just to please you, you fucking faggot. I'm gonna do what I wanna do.
Okay, let's chill on the F word.
Okay, yeah. I didn't need to say that, but you get what I'm saying. Like,
it definitely got your point across. I'll give you that.
When it gets to the point where they start telling you how to live your life and telling you what to do, it gets to a point where I'm.
What are you saying that in reference to? Like, what are you saying that in reference to?
Black people, not black people, like gay people who say. You have to do, like, gay people who say you have to do this way. If you don't, you're homophobic. Right?
Yeah,
no.
It's basically doing the same thing.
No, okay. For example, if you won't date a tranny person, you're homophobic.
No, that's understandable.
No,
you can date who you want.
Secondly, what I want sexually and as a relationship is a biological woman. I don't want no fucking Barbie doll shit that has been made in a lab, okay?
Oh
and that applies to female in general. Females who are born female who get plastic surgery are not attractive to me because that is not natural and that is not biological. It's a Barbie and it's plastic. And I don't see any difference between plastic surgery and a gender reassignment surgery. Because either way is fakeness, and that is not attractive to me. And you're not gonna make me date someone who used to have a dick, but now has a vagina, just because they have a vagina now. I'm not gonna be attracted to that, and there's no way in a million years that I will want to date that. Because that is not what they were born as, and that is not what they are. They are not female to me. They are men who got their dicks cut off, and got a gender reassignment surgery, right? I don't recognize them as female. Female to me is a biological woman who has been born. A biological woman has been woman an entire life. Jesus. To me, there's not 2 genders, right? There's 3 genders, okay? Saying there's only 2 genders reinforces the idea that transgenders can go from a guy to a woman, and I don't believe that. I believe that there's 3 genders. There's men, there's woman, and then there's trans, right? And you can be trans, right?
Never heard of that one.
And that's your gender. You used to be a guy, but now you're not. You used to be a woman, but now you're not. That doesn't make you a woman. That doesn't make you a guy. That makes you something else, right?
So
I'm not gonna be offensive about it. I'm not gonna call them freaks. I'm not gonna call them abominations or disgusting or any of that.
He says as he proceeds to say the word tranny.
Tranny is what they are. No, it's not.
Call them trannies.
Okay, anyway, no, I have a question though. So, are you okay with them using, like, she, like a transgender man using she pronouns?
I don't give a fuck. See, my perspective on pronouns is you can have whatever pronouns you want, right? Choose your pronouns. Because my correlation with that is, okay, imagine this. someone calls your PS4 an Xbox, you gonna get really upset, aren't you? You gonna get really upset.
It's an interesting explanation.
That's literally my correlation with it. Is if you call a PlayStation an Xbox, the owner is gonna get pissed off. Same shit. If you call a trans a guy when they see themselves as a she/her, they're gonna get offended, and I respect that. Because if you call my PlayStation an Xbox, yeah, it's kind of a crude metaphor and a crude simile, right? And it's kind of offensive, I guess, but that's how I correlate. Like, it's just it's a metaphor.
It's a metaphor. You're not making that.
I'm not comparing I am comparing a trans person to a PlayStation, but I'm not saying they are equivalent to a PlayStation.
We get it. We get it, Tuna. We get it. We get it. Okay. I was gonna say, like, so do you think, like, I was wondering if you thought that they should still use, or they should be allowed to use it. And okay, I was
yeah, like it still falls under the same philosophy on
you just don't want to
do what makes you happy and do what you want, because this is America and you can do whatever the fuck you want.
You just don't want to date a trans person, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's not my preference.
Right. I was just wondering. I was like, okay, we're gonna fall into some transphobic territory a little bit there.
I'm not
again, it's fine.
Gay people. I'm
it's
not
fine. Like, it's completely your right not to date a trans person.
Transgenders have a lot to add to society. Bruce Jenner in particular, he is a very influential trans person who had really, like, became a role model and almost a hero to the LGBTQ community for being even in the 90s coming out as gay and then coming out as trans later. That's huge, right? And I respect that. And, like, yeah, they can contribute to society. They are just as equal as any other type of person, like man or woman, but they are not either man or woman because they don't recognize themselves as what they were biologically born as.
Yeah, but again, like I was saying, it's totally your choice to choose your date, and no one can force you. I think it's wrong, like, for people to say, like, oh, you can't date a trans person. Like, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, if I don't want to date a trans person, then I don't want to date a trans person. If I want to
fuck a bitch who also has a dick, then I'm gonna want to fuck a bitch who also has a dick. But personally, I don't want to fuck a bitch who has a dick. Right? That's weird to me. But like, you know, there's some people who would want that. Who would want a bitch who has titties and a vagina, but also has a fat ass dick that they can fucking bounce on? Like, you know? There's people whose sexual preference.
So bluntly, but it's great. I love it.
It just uses all these like. Like, dude, he's so in support. He's so in support, but he says he's so in support, but then says it so offensively. It's like, are you homophobic or not?
No, dude, I'm just an asshole, and that's who I am.
It's like, it's the first time I don't feel dirty hearing those things.
Oh my god.
It's like, it's
like,
dude, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, bro. Like, I'm gonna speak what's on my mind.
Dude, I fucking...
and shit, okay, sure, I say that's gay, and I mean it in like a bad way, like I did.
No, don't worry.
I say that's fucking
no,
gay.
Don't worry.
At the same time,
yeah, I know. Like, a lot of people who are
in a
even
different time.
Yeah, like, it's like how I'm an atheist, but I still say Jesus Christ to everything, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm an atheist too, but when I stub my fucking toe on his chair, I'm screaming out, oh, fucking Jesus, fuck shit! But, you know?
Yeah.
I'm still gonna scream out his fucking name for help, basically, even though I'm an atheist. You know, I'm an atheist, but there is times where I'm really upset, and I say, oh, Lord, help me, dude, I cannot get through this day. And then I get through the day somehow, you know? And I'm not gonna blame vegan. I'm not gonna give credit to Jesus or the Lord for getting me through that day. But at the same time, I did still pray. Like, I'm an atheist, but at times when there's like emotional stress and shit, I will get on my knees and cup my hands and
it's just the people I was raised around, you know, they would always say Jesus Christ, so I just kind of got catched onto it. I mean, it's like, you know, you grow up in the South, you know, you get a Southern accent, right?
Yeah, no, yeah, I know what you mean. Like,
doesn't mean That was
I mean, shit, dude. If you grew up like in the mid 2000s as well, especially.
Oh yeah.
It was cool to be homophobic. If you were gay,
dude,
you were weird.
The amount of times that I've said the N-word online because I thought it was hilarious is amazing. I remember all the memes back then where it was just everyone saying the N-word.
Oh yeah, no,
dude, give me your N-word pass, bro.
You would get home from school, you would hop on Call of Duty. They would be forced game chat, right? And all you would hear was two teams just screaming at each other. You fucking you fat, you fucking nigga. Like, dude, that's all you would hear. So, growing up in that shit, you're gonna be growing up screaming when you're upset. Fucking nigga, fucking faggot, all that shit, you know? That's how you're gonna be raised.
Yeah, like...
See, D-Bomb, I know you didn't get to see it, but as soon as Tunafish said that, he went down. So
yeah, that's karma.
But yeah, like, I remember, like, sure, you remember Robbie and Peter?
I hated those guys, I'm not gonna lie with you.
Okay, that's fine. You know, we would sit in class and, you know, so look at this photograph. We would just go, look at this, and then just say the F. So casual.
Yeah. No, yeah.
And it's like, I'm embarrassed of it now, but at the time, it was just something else. Like, it
well,
wasn't...
that's how society changes. Like, before, it's, I
mean, it's changed for the better, in my opinion, but again, that's just my leftist views coming out.
Gay people would be hated on and lynched and fucking beat to death, right?
Yeah.
Because
they
still
were gay,
are,
honestly.
Because, in the middle, yeah. Okay,
it's a little, it's
East,
better, especially in the Middle East. Dude, they still do.
In the Middle East, you can get a death penalty for being gay. That's not okay. But during like 90s, the 80s, gays would be beaten. They would get sexually assaulted. And for a straight person to sexually assault a gay person, that just seems inherently gay. Okay,
yeah,
first off,
that's kind of sus.
Because that's almost gay because you're sexually assaulting a gay person. But society has changed to where.
I just realized that irony, dude. Sexually assault a gay person makes you gay, dude.
Yeah, it's inherently gay to me to sexually assault a gay person. But they still did it. And what I also like saying how in the 1920s it was okay and it was popular for people to go lynching niggers. Okay? I say it casually, but it was okay at the time.
I swear my YouTube channel's gonna get banned, dude.
just cut out. Yeah, just cut out. Yeah, just cut out.
It's on a broadcast.
Cut out all the slurs. You're streaming?
Yeah, because I didn't want to. I mean, well,
shit.
Not actually. I guess. I mean, yeah, I guess I could go back and censor it. No,
but
I'm not technically. It's technically a private stream. I should have said. So
yeah, you can just bleep out any use of the N-word and F-word. But like how it was okay to do that shit 100 years ago.
Oh man, I'm not gonna bleep out the F word. I'll bleep out the N word. That's it.
10 years ago and all that bullshit, right? Nowadays, anyone who's homophobic, anyone who's racist, instead of getting support and praise by the local society and the local civilian and like by everyone, they're gonna get hate. They're gonna get.
Well, I mean, yeah. I feel like.
And that's how it should be.
It's what it's trending. I don't think it's there yet, but it's definitely heading up.
Yeah.
And I think the reason, I think the thing is that a lot of people who did say, like, use those slurs and stuff back then or whatever, I don't think they were, like, genuinely homophobic. I think they were just like me and just thought it was funny, you know, because we're all 12-year-olds back then, dude.
I'm not homophobic, but dude, I'm still gonna call shit gay, and I'm gonna say the F word.
No, I do it too, don't worry.
Like,
I don't say the F word.
Like, dude, I don't have a problem with gay people, but like, dude,
you don't understand how many times I've called gays the F word, though.
But, like, these words, these slurs, they have power to them, right?
Yeah.
As a white person, someone calls me a cracker, I'm gonna laugh at it. I'm not gonna get offended. But if I'm black and I get called an N-word, or if I'm gay and I get called an F-word,
because see, the cracker is just a joke, honestly.
Yeah, it has the connotation of offensive.
Someone calling you a cracker, That's just
yeah, then you're way too sensitive, and you need to hop into a fucking Call of Duty lobby and just get shit on real quick.
you need to hop in a Modern Warfare 2 Xbox 360 lobby real quick, dude.
You need to get into a forced game chat, search and destroy lobby, and yeah.
I love how it's funny because it's all the things on TikTok, but it's like speedrunning getting called the N-word. Like,
dude, is that actually a thing? Is that actually a thing?
Yeah, dude, it's so funny. I love that shit. It's so funny. He's like, yeah, it's so funny. But
it's so good.
You wanna know something funny? You know, it's kind of offensive. I got into this like argument with this dude on Snapchat, right? And I was being mean to him, right? Because he posted his girlfriend like fucking him in the ass, right?
Hot.
So I was like, bro. So I can't remember like the whole conversation, but at one point I said, bro, you get yo asshole bigger than the Great Wall of China the way yo girl be fucking yo shit. Right? I said that to him, okay? And then another point, he called me a cracker. So I responded with 4 simple words, which is BDLM.
Jeez, no! Tuna, no! You can't do that!
And you won't believe how offended he got. Compared to him calling me a cracker,
dude.
I was laughing my ass off. Whereas he got so offended because
you can't do that.
But I can do that because freedom of speech. I can say what I want.
I mean, you can do that, but right? Should you do that is the better question. Yeah. Just because you can, it doesn't mean you should.
Now that is a conversation. See, we have the ability and the power to say whatever the fuck we want in this country, right? We can call anyone whatever the fuck we want, and we can do this. But is it okay for the government and for the media and for people to cancel
here's the thing though,
for what we say? Is it okay for that?
Well, here's the thing, because there's the reason why there's certain, like, for example, you're technically not really allowed to swear in public. Especially around children and stuff, you're not technically allowed to swear. It's against a lot of states actually have laws against that stuff. But and the reason, because here's the thing is that you have your rights until you infringe on someone else's rights. Then your rights get taken away. So that's why you're not allowed to say certain things, is because of that. Like, you can't just go into a movie theater and scream, "There's a fire!" when there's not actually a fire.
Right, yeah.
So that's a perfect example of if you infringe on someone else's right, example, causing a panic, it infringes on someone's rights to peace, or disturbing the peace that infringes on someone else's rights, then then you get your rights taken away. You're not allowed to have that freedom because
I did a no, keep going.
No, that was it. It was just
okay. Because I did a whole essay for my senior year, right? On hate speech and if it should be protected by the U.S. government, right? And I saw that. I said, hate speech, right, is like, okay, so in Germany, they do not have freedom of speech in Germany, right?
You can't say
anything, you cannot teach about the Nazis, okay? You cannot teach Nazism, right? Not teach Nazism, but you cannot spread awareness of the Nazi party, okay, to German citizens. Yeah.
Actually, real quick, I want to say something because that reminded me of something. Just real quick here. So, if you actually go to Japan, there's a memorial or like a museum where Hiroshima landed, and like the tone, like, because in America we're always like, oh yeah, we're so powerful and we're victorious and we did the right thing in order to end the war or whatever.
Did not do the right thing.
But if you go to Japan, but that's like the preconception, especially like when you're younger and you're hearing about it, is that it was a necessary action and that we're not evil. We're not evil for doing that. But if you go to Japan, dude, at that museum, it like makes it looks. Like it's an entirely different perspective. Like they're like talking about like how horrible the incident was. Like they emphasize like the death, the suffering of the people, and I'm just like, God damn. And then when you really look at it from that side, you're like, damn, dude, this was kind of effed up. I mean, even like it doesn't even take a baby to understand that dropping 2 nukes onto a school is kind of effed up, dude.
Yeah. Like, oh my. Okay, I had this class in 6th grade. Okay, middle school. It was called World Culture Appreciation or some shit like that, like, you know?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay, and at the time, I was too young to appreciate what that class brought, okay? Now, looking back on it, I see it, and I have so much love for going through that class because I got to see how each different country and each government looks and takes and teaches their own history, okay? Germany does not teach World War II properly. It does not teach its own impact on the world with World War II, right? Same thing with Japan, okay? Japan, in America, we learned that we dropped the bombs because Japan would have never surrendered if we hadn't. Okay?
I'm sure there's plenty of other ways we could have made Japan surrender.
If we were born in Japan and we learn about the nukes and shit, we get the perspective of what Americans are taught about 9/11. Hiroshima and Nagasaki was the Japanese 9/11, okay? We dropped 2 atomic bombs, the most deadly weapons that this world has ever fucking seen. Not on military bases, not on military war zones, not on active battlefields, but on 2 civilian cities.
Population.
When was that necessary? Never necessary.
Yeah, we didn't even have to drop it on. We could have dropped it on the military or somewhere else. Right. Are you trapped in a corner right now?
No. I threw a monkey bomb. But whereas sure, we learned that the Japanese are the enemy, okay, for World War II, and that the Axis are the enemy.
Well, yeah, because we won it.
How are they the enemy when, okay, they surprise attacked us, right? Sure, they did a surprise attack. There was no active, we weren't at war with them when they bombed Pearl Harbor. But the difference between Japan during World War II and the United States government during World War II is Japan attacked a military naval base, which was a good strategic site for a first attack on America. Whereas America, we bombed a civilian city, which had no tactical advantage, which had no good no good first step.
Yeah, it was purely
anything.
In my opinion, it was fear. It was literally just fear. It was literally fear, and that's like the definition of terrorism, is just to cause fear and panic. So
and it worked.
Terrorism is an act of violence that causes terror within the populace. That's exactly what the nukes did to the Japanese. Because
it's about right what I'm ready to do to the zombies whenever I get an insta-kill.
It caused such a fear in the Japanese where they completely disregarded rule number 1 of Japanese culture, which was never surrender, and they surrendered. That's how scared the nuclear bombs made them. Because it was either surrender or face ultimate destruction.
Yeah. As the guy that made it said, I am death. Destroy.
I am become death. He's not death in itself. He was a person who had became death. He had made death. And that's what he became. He was no longer a scientist who was working for the government. He had became an instrument of death in his eyes. The man who made the nuclear bomb and invented it said that in his own eyes, he's no longer man. He's a source of death.
Kind of edgy.
A weapon of death. Yeah, it is pretty fucking edgy.
Yeah.
Good. He's definitely one of the emo kids in the back of the class, at least now.
Yeah, for real. The person who made the atomic bomb was the quiet kid in the back of the class. He was like, "Hey, you want to see me go boom?"
See me go boom. It's like, oh, you thought I made the bomb? Nah, I am the bomb.
and you know, it's scary to think about. Okay, 9/11 was the only reason for 9/11 was so that we could invade the Middle East for oil, right, and for power. What's scary is how many times have these fucking terrorist attacks, right, in other countries, Britain and France and all this shit that we learn about, right? How many times have they literally just been secret plans just so they can go into an enemy country for resources and money and power? Sure, we no longer publicly go to countries and take it over and colonize them. Sure, we don't do that publicly anymore. We just do it secretly. ever since World War II, ever since the fall of the British Empire, colonialization has been a no-go. It has been something seen as tyrannical, but yet we still do it under false flag operations to go into enemy countries and to take the resources, to take the natural resources.
Oil reserves go brrr.
I saw something a little bit ago, and it was a Vietnam veteran talking with a veteran who served in the Middle East, right? One of those like BuzzFeed type videos, you know? Not an actual BuzzFeed video, but one of those where they like ask each other questions and shit, you know? You know what I mean? And the Afghan soldier asked the Vietnam soldier, he goes, "How was my deployment different from your terms, or whatever the fuck, your tour?" And the Vietnam veteran responds with, I was in the jungle, and in an enemy country, similar to you, you were in a desert, but I was in a jungle, where the jungle was so dense at times where we couldn't even see 5 feet ahead of us. We would have to be aware of all surroundings, up, down, left, right, behind us, as well in front of us, at every moment in time. There was no point in time where we could lower our guard for more than a second, because if that happened, then we would have to endure a sniper fire or an ambush from the Viet Cong. He also says there's times where if we are not watching where we are stepping, we will step right on a landmine, and we will have to stand completely still for 2 whole days for a bomb squad to come to my destination to disarm the landmine from below me. Imagine having to stand completely still for 2 hours, for 2 days straight. Because if you don't, then you're gonna die.
You know, at least they're kind enough to give you a chance to live, right? I mean, they can't just make the bomb explode as soon as you step on it.
Yeah. Well, because the way landmines work is it's the pressure of it going down and then getting released that causes it to explode. But
I'm sure they could find some way to make it so it works.
He then says, the difference between my deployment and your deployment was I was facing a threat I couldn't even see. I was facing an enemy which wasn't even an enemy. Wasn't even a he didn't say not even an enemy. He said I was facing an enemy that wasn't even one single type of enemy. I was fighting an ideal in a political ideal, which would have caused my freedom and the freedom of my ones I loved and my country to be jeopardized. Whereas you, and he said directly to the Afghan veteran, he said, whereas your war was not a war on terror, was not a war on political agenda. Yours was not a war on an ideal or a war for freedom. Your war was for money and for control and for resources.
I didn't do it on purpose, Mom, I promise. Yeah, I think it's really interesting too because when our Afghan soldiers returned home, they were giving a hero's welcome, while when our Vietnam soldiers returned home, they were spit on.
Yeah, because at the time, the leftists in the country said no war, right? And sure, why should we put American troops in this country?
Yeah, but the main problem is though, that they also didn't have a choice though as well.
In Southeast Asia, why the fuck should we care? Because I mean, looking at the bigger picture
why
of the
didn't you
world,
invite us to your party?
Join.
I can't. We're in round 38.
I'm quick joining y'all. Let me know when y'all are done. Honestly, no,
right.
let me know when y'all are done.
And honest and why should the U.S. government care about this tiny little country on Southeast Asia? Well, the reason that they should care is because at the time China was communist, Russia was communist under the USSR, right? China was not a fan of Russia, and Russia was not a fan of China. Russia wanted the Kremlin wanted control of China, right? To make it a province of the USSR, like how they had been doing to Germany and Poland and all these other Eastern European countries. They wanted China to be another province of the Soviet Republic. China wanted to be communist, but wanted to be independent. So imagine if Vietnam had been united under a communist government. It had joined. It had given power to China, right? It became a province of China, and then China makes an alliance with the USSR based on political ideals. We're facing more than half of the world. We're facing a majority of Europe, the majority of Asia, and then they're both communist, where capitalism would have never stood a fucking chance. And that's why the US government tried so fucking hard to contain communists at every single step. The CIA changed 75 different countries' governments during the Cold War. 75 times. 75 different countries' governments were changed during the Cold War because the CIA had done everything it could to contain a communist threat. Didn't matter if it was in South America, if it was in the farthest trenches of fucking Asia, or if it was in the most northern region of Alaska, okay? It didn't matter. Communist was the enemy, and they were gonna do anything it could to contain that threat. Whereas now, we can't even see a difference between Syrians and Israelis and we can't see a difference because all we see is a terrorist. Since 9/11, we look at a bearded Muslim and we think terrorist. That's not okay. That's a stereotype, and it's not okay. You know, there's people in America who don't even realize that there's different types of Muslims. Just like Christians, there's Sunni and Saudi Muslims. Just like how there's Mormon Christians, and there's Christian and Catholic Christians, and how there's, like, you know, there's so many different branches of Abrahamic religion. You know, Muslim is an Abrahamic religion. But why do we treat Muslims so different? We treat it so different.
Because they don't believe in Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they don't believe in Jesus Christ. They believe in a different type of person. Like, the difference between Abrahamic religions and religions like Rome and Greek and Hinduism is Abrahamic religions all follow the patterns of astrology and the sun. Jesus, Muhammad, God, you know, Abraham, those figures in the Bibles and the Quran and the Torah and all that shit, they are metaphors and similes for the sun, you know? The death of Jesus and his rebirth is a simile, is just a metaphor for how during the winter solstice, 3 days before Christmas, or same with the summer solstice, the sun goes down for 3 days, and then after 3 days it comes back as it comes back. It's just, there's this YouTube documentary movie called The Zeitgeist. It's about 3 hours long, and it is mind-blowing, and it will completely change your perspective on the world, because there's points in it where it's talking about something, right, and you're listening to it and you think, oh, they're talking about Christianity, and then it hits you with a boom, no, we're talking about a completely different religion, motherfucker. Isn't that crazy how you thought we were talking about Christianity, but we're talking about something else? There's parts in it where it draws, like, the thinking of how did all of these religions have similar stories to them, but the foundation of all these different religions are millions and million miles apart from each other. How the fuck do they have similar stories and similar tales and all this bullshit when they've never contacted each other before? You know, and then there's hieroglyphics of weird spaceships and all this shit. You know, it doesn't make any sense. There's been I'm a full believer that there has been an outside source that has played a part in our history. You know, I don't know if it's aliens or if it's something else, right? But there has definitely been an outside source that has influenced our history, our ancient history, and we look at it as fiction.
Stupid mimic.
Frickin' mimic.
Frickin' mimic. I want to get rid of this gun. Where's the box? The Krig. For, like, I don't know, a crossbow or something. Just so I can have the electric effect.
I'll take it.
Come take my Krig, yeah.
Where is it at? What level is it?
I have it maxed out completely.
Yellow?
XM4, yep.
Actually, no, I don't want that. I have electric. That's gonna give me ice.
Yeah, I'm running the XM4 now. Give me a second while I go max this thing out.
Well, what perk are you gonna put on it?
Electric, obviously.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Because I don't have ice maxed out. If I had ice maxed out, I would have kept rolling with the Krig, but...
So, you guys remember how we talked about the Waco siege last time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed
And the Ruby Ridge siege? Yeah. So, I had revisited the topic today with someone, and I told him about how Waco and the Ruby Ridge incident had been catalysts and the reasons for the Oklahoma City bombing, right? Because Timothy McVeigh, he bombed an FBI building in response, right? He bombed it for a reason. It wasn't like he bombed a Walmart or some bullshit. He bombed an FBI building because he saw the fucking FBI as the tyrannical and shit after what they had done to Ruby Ridge and at the Waco siege. And I had gotten on the topic of the Boulder City shooting, right? You guys saw that in the news?
Oh yeah, the guy that shot up the supermarket.
Uh-huh. Well, he was a Syrian immigrant, okay, who had anti-Trump beliefs. He posted on his Facebook during the 2020 election that he hated Trump, hated the government, and hated all this shit, right? Biden gets elected president, and 2 months after Biden becomes president, he bombs Syria, okay? And then a Syrian immigrant shoots up and kills 10 Americans in response to it, and he, in his Facebook post about hating Trump and shit, had been taken down by Facebook corporate because they did not. The media tried pushing that the person behind the shooting, was a Trump supporter who was radical and hated Biden. And after that, he was like, no, I don't like Trump, I don't like Biden, I don't like the US government in general. They've always been the same. They are oppressive capitalist invaders, right?
So are you a capitalist?
I'm a capitalist, yeah. I believe, I'm not gonna say capitalism is good and shit, because there's flaws with capitalism, there's flaws with any form of society, economy, and any form of government, right? And
because I agree. I just dislike the people that are like super anti-capitalist, but then like don't realize that capitalism and the government that comes along with it is a reason they can be.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I hate the motherfuckers that are like, capitalism is so bad, we should be a communist government. No, the fuck we should not be a communist government, because
I don't understand if they said socialism, but communism it's shown time and time. It doesn't work.
Communism. Socialism is worse than yes.
How?
Socialism, the fundamental of communism is equal wealth being shared out, okay? But the problems that communism brings and allows is you can have a farm, right? How's this mango not fucking dying, bro? You can have a farm, right? You can do nothing on your farm, right? You can harvest no type of fucking shit. And you can not give any of your fucking produce to any sort of supermarket. But the government is still gonna pay you for having your farm. It's still gonna give you the same amount of money as someone who is given all of their produce and given all of their vegetables to a supermarket. That's what communism is. They are getting the same amount of money for doing nothing.
Yeah.
And at that point, it allows for the government to be like, you're not gonna work for us, we're gonna force you to work for us. And that is slavery. Even if they're getting paid a little amount of money, it's still slavery, because slaves were still given a little bit of fucking shit in return for it, right? If you were a good slave working the cotton fields, master would give you a good dinner. Master would give you a place to stay. Master would give you a blanket. You know?
Oh no. Alright, I'll roll with it. Sure, too.
I mean, he's not wrong. It's
I'm not.
He's not wrong, but it's just. Oh.
It sounds bad.
It sounds
it
so
sounds
bad.
Because that's what it is, dude.
Sounds bad because it is bad.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Oh, crud.
And same shit. You don't work for the government's gonna punish you. You don't work for the master gonna whip you. It's the same shit. Communism leads.
So bad.
Yeah, but that's what it is.
Yeah, but communism is pretty freaking bad.
Communism is okay on paper, right? But it's okay until someone says no. And
yeah,
then
I'm just not gonna work.
When they say no, then it's gonna become a problem.
If the government,
here, Tuna, you protect the artillery. I'm going to go for Orda.
Alright.
If the communist government behind the communism is a good government, then it's gonna work. But so rarely is it a good government.
Well, for one, not even that, but again, it really also just depends on the people, because the people don't work, then it doesn't gonna work.
Yeah, and it also depends on.
And then you get to the point where it's like, well, why would I work if I just get money for free? Yeah. And then what ends up happening is that everyone has that mentality. And once everyone has that mentality, then the government doesn't make any money. So then you can't give money to its people. And then everyone's poor.
See, the reason why communism worked so good in Russia, in the USSR, is because the USSR had systems in order to sustain political upheaval and to sustain any political change and any political shit. If you held a political ideal that was not okay with Stalin and shit, and there's a difference between Stalinism and Marxism. They're not the same form of communism. They're completely different, right? Sure, Lenin had introduced Marxism, but Marxism then turned into Stalinism over time, and Stalinism was oppressive and it did not allow free thinking within its people. And when the government starts saying this is allowed and this isn't allowed, this is how you have to think, and if you think a certain way, well then you go into the gulag. That's not okay. That's why communism worked so good in the USSR, because it was able to maintain its citizens and to control its citizens.
Yeah.
Your focus zombies, focus zombies, focus zombies.
I'm trying. I am.
Yeah.
Whereas if communism in the United States was a thing, that Guantanamo Bay would be over-flooded, okay?
He can damage the reactor? Really?
What the fuck?
Oh my god. No, the Orda. He can shoot.
Orda.
That's so dumb. We would have had this if he wasn't able to do that. I didn't know he could shoot his giant meatballs at the frickin' machine, dude. Is he dead? Are you dead, sir?
What are you doing, motherfucker? Stop walking towards me.
Are you not dead? Oh my god. Well, I think we still get a max ammo, because, yeah. We're cool.
And same shit with...
We're at round 41, Tuna.
Yeah, I know. Same shit. Like, certain governments don't make it like... One government type isn't better than the other. Sure, ancient Roman society had a oligarchy, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
the reason the Roman government type worked so well was because the only people who were literate and smart and philosophical thinkers were the ones who had money, and that's why the government type was surrounded around the people with power was also the same people who had money, because those were the only, everyone else was basically illiterate.
Yeah. That's the same reason that religion was the way it was.
Hold on, wait.
Tuna.
Tuna. Okay, we need to extract. Because it's getting, I need to get some work done before 12.
Yeah, like, that's why religion was the way it was, and that's why we have stained glass windows, is because people weren't literate, so they made stained glass windows, and so that's why religion was the way it was. It's because no one could interpret the Bible but the priest.
Yeah.
And so...
Well, that's why...
If the priest said it was this way, then it was that way, because you couldn't disagree, because you can't read.
Yeah, and then, like, Martin Luther, like, when he had different feelings towards the church's shit, right? And he was trying, the church tried to press him so badly. During the medieval time and the Renaissance and shit, the Renaissance was really when literacy among civilians really grew. Right before that, there was, like, okay, there was the government, then there was the church, the clergy, and then there was the citizens, right? The peasants, right? The church had more power over the government because, yes, kings and princes and emperors, they were literate and shit, but only the church and only the Pope had true power. The Pope had reach and power all over the globe, okay? The Pope could go into a country and say, I don't really like this king. And then the majority of its civilians would follow the Pope and be like, fuck this king. Fuck this king.
Yeah, the Pope transcended everything.
Yeah. That's why the church has constantly, and for years, been the richest source of anything. Has been the richest. Ever.
Well, not anymore.
No, dude, you won't even believe how rich the church is.
Dude, it's insane.
It's insane.
Well, according to the statistics, Elon Musk is the richest man on earth. And
the richest man. The church, dude, it's insane. If you want to know wealth, look at the church. It's nutty.
Nutty. We have nutty wealth. Alright, I'm gonna get you.
Also, it's like no fucking.
Thank you, Tuna, for being in your bathroom.
Yeah, I found. But there's like no surprise. If you look at the Bible, there's real life Roman historic figures that are written about in the Bible. Because during the making of the Bible, it was during when Rome was still a fucking thing, right? And
yeah, a lot of
sure, you can see the Bible's up to for interpretation, right? That's what the Bible is. You can interpret anything its own way, but they portray the Roman generals and shit heroic, but villainous at the same time.
Hey, D-Bomb, join us.
Oh, I'm in Battlefield, and I'm actually kind of enjoying myself.
Okay. That's fine. I wanted to play Gunfight anyway.
Sounds like you're upset at me, and you didn't want to play Gunfight, but I'll believe it.
But I mean, dude, even in the French Revolution, the entire reason the French Revolution was started was because there was more people in the country who were illiterate and unintelligent than there were with the clergy and with the government officials, right? There was more peasants than both clergy and government combined, yet the clergy could outrule the peasants. Alone, the clergy could outrule the government and the peasants, and alone, the government could outrule the clergy and the peasants. But how they fucking worked so goodly together to make sure that it contained and had the system for so many years was because the clergy and the government.
But I want to do it. It's just. What is it? 9:30. Sorry, Dad. I feel bad because I said we'd do it. I feel bad because I said we'd do it. Okay, then we'll do it tomorrow.
But the reason the government was able to have that system in place for so long was because the clergy and the government worked together and worked for foods.
Bait him out, bait him out, bait him out.
What the fuck?
He magnumed your head in, oh my god.
And, like, okay, so, I'm gonna be honest, okay? I have this game on my computer. It's called CK2. And basically the whole premise of the game is you're a king in medieval times, right? From the start of the medieval era to the end of it, like the start of the Renaissance is 1 minute. And basically you rule as a king and you try to have like the best dynasty, right? And you try to make the most powerful country, right? That's basically the premise of the game.
Yep, yeah.
And you play as a king, right? And you play as a form of government. You can pick what type of government you have, what type of... You have all these different economic choices and all these governmental choices. You can make...
Zombies, guys, come on. Where are you?
you can make laws and all this shit, right? And I'm not gonna lie, if I was a government and I could determine whatever type of government I would have, okay, it would be an elective monarchy, right? Not saying, and what an elective monarchy is the fucking king nominates who his successor is, right? And then he just anyone who has a difference with that just has to shut the fuck up and accept it, because that's what the king said. Right?
Then they would just make it its son or something.
No, see, that's the difference. A normal there's different systems to monarchy, right? There's pregamentatory, which means the oldest son inherits, or there's the reverse of that, which means the youngest son inherits. There's also another system where the oldest living family member of that dynasty inherits, right? Everything. So king dies, and then his brother, who is 80 fucking years old, becomes king, right? That's not a good government. Why would we let an 80-year-old motherfucker become king? Right? And the best government type, okay, as someone who's in government, right, from my perspective, while playing the game, the best way to control and have the best playthrough of the game is having ultimate control of the civilians. Okay?
So North Korea.
Yeah. No. Yeah, literally. And that's what's fucked up, because as playing as someone who is the leader of a government, right, in a simulated like world type shit, right? The best I have ever done as a country is when I had total control of a government. But as a citizen, that is not okay, right? I see that's not a good thing. But any government who wants to be successful, that's what they strive for total control of the population.
Did he see me?
I don't know.
What? When did fire become realistic? Once the fire slowly starts spreading. I mean, seriously, when did fire spread in COD? When has this ever been a thing?
I don't know.
Doesn't even spread in CSGO.
Walk down.
Oh, wait, Verda. Oh, no, I was so close.
Need another beer.
How much till your aim starts getting affected? My god.
I know, dude. I'm still fucking him up. Where Brewski's down? I'm gonna be upset when I run out of beer.
I forgot that I was muted.
Come on, what? 2 bullets and he's still not dead? This gun, I guess I hit it. Hold up. Why did I get this game sometimes, bro? Game over 14? Kind of pre-fire like it's Siege, bro.
What are y'all playing?
No, it's trying to stim.
Is there a 3v3 gunfight or 2?
There's face off, but it's not gunfight. It's you pick your own class and it's 3v3.
Yeah.
It's still fun, but we probably could have kept going for longer on zombies, but I don't know. I was gonna get off and go. I was gonna go get off and do something, but then I just ended up not. Cause like I technically, yeah. What? Okay.
I play better drunk than I do sober. That's a clip. I play better drunk than I do sober.
Is that or is that placebo effect?
And look at my aim, bro. That shit was on.
Is it that or is that just aim assist?
Nah, that.
Call of Duty is a breathalyzer in your mic to tell if you're drunk to give you more aim assist.
Oh my goodness.
I got direct hit by Molotov and then he set me on. He chucked me in the face. I lit up the other guy with my Molotov though when I died because I Marty'd on his butt. Hey, with the Marty Dom. He's probably behind you.
Dude, when is the Call of Duty games gonna go into like lasers and stuff? Like one of the weapons is a voodoo doll, the other is like a magic wand.
I'm still waiting for that fucking.
Dude, honestly, I wouldn't mind a magic Call of Duty.
That would be really cool.
That would honestly be. It would be new. It would be new, definitely. Instead of just like high tech laser, it's like pure magic.
Wow, we just lost because that nigga captured. Wow,
dude,
fuck that kid.
Dude, we just get like Overwatch COD, you know, magic.
Yeah, I mean, dude, honestly, I would.
Although
not
technically Overwatch is like not magic.
Yo, dude, I'm ready for that.
I was actually. I told you guys about Rocket Arena, right?
Yeah, we played it.
Oh yeah, we played. Me and D-Bomb played it. It's actually
wait. Does D-Bomb have Rogue Company?
Yeah.
I do have Rogue Company.
He probably has it installed too. Do you have it installed now, Tuna?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to play it?
Do we want to hop on Rogue? Dude, the last time I played Rogue Company, I got my cheeks.
What? You said hop on Rogue Company.
Tuna, are you?
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
I've been drinking since I got home, so.
PlayStation. Rogue Company. Dude, it was like I have.
That makes more sense why you've been ranting so much recently.
Yeah,